my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can get full coverage using Bareminerals Original Foundation. I think this foundation used to be like the only foundation every girl ever used because I don't know why. But for some reason, like over the years, you just start doing heavier foundations or fuller coverage foundations. So you think because you think that'll somehow make your skin look better. But I have found that even with my acne prone skin, my super oily skin, that this foundation really just, I don't know, it just really perfects the face without making it look cakey. It doesn't highlight any fine lines or wrinkles, blurs away your pores, so it's like, it's a little angel. I think a lot of people are afraid to use it because they get so frustrated. They try to get it on their skin. It takes 16 years to build up the coverage. They can't even get the full coverage. They don't understand how it ever worked for them in the beginning. And they quite honestly don't understand how it can be rated the #1 high-end foundation by Allure for like, I think it's like 10 years in a row, I want to say, something like crazy like that. If you really just follow the techniques I'm about to show you, you can really build up such full, beautiful coverage. I seriously didn't even want to film today because I'm getting so frustrated with my skin right now. I just have breakouts going on. Like this bad boy right here has been here like for 10 years and I've one on my chin that's awesome. So I really hate adult acne, if none of y'all knew that. Just really hate it. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get in. I have already primed my skin using the Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer and the Smashbox pore minimizing primer. I do a mixture of the two. I do the Dr. Brandt one all over my face, and then I do the Smashbox one just in places where my pores are more noticeable. And the reason I didn't do that on camera today is because I always let my primer set in my skin for at least 3 to 5 minutes. I find that this really helps to extend the wear of my foundation because it's letting the primer really soak into my skin. I really think that step 1 to getting full coverage with this foundation is let your primer sit on your skin and definitely use a primer. So the second thing I like to do that's like kind of a newer step I've used, I obviously never used this back in high school because I don't even think this product existed, but it's the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. I take this spray and before I'm putting on any powder on my skin, I go ahead and I take it and I spray it all over my face. And once I've sprayed that all over my face, just to make sure it's really soaking into my skin, I like to use my Real Techniques complexion sponge thingamajig beauty blender dupe and just press that into my skin just to make sure that nothing is laying on top of my skin. It's all being super absorbed. And then the next step is obviously foundation. So I am using the Bareminerals Original Foundation, and it is in the color Golden Beige. It is number 13. This is a new shade they came out with this year or the end of last year, I can't really remember. They have 30 shades now, which is really amazing. It's pretty difficult not to find a shade that works for you. So you're gonna start by unscrewing the cap. And here is where the next trick comes in for getting full coverage, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, but it's so true. You want to do the smallest amount. You just need the smallest amount to get better coverage with this foundation. So you're gonna sprinkle a little bit into your cap, and I'm gonna try to see if my camera will focus on how much I have in there. Okay, let me just take my word for it. There's not a ton in there. And then this is a game changer when it comes to this foundation, and that is the IT Cosmetics. I believe it's like the airbrush brush. That's probably the name, Kristen. That sounds like a really great name for a brush. But I will put the description somewhere around here, or I will put it down below of what this brush is actually called. But my point is a really high quality brush, preferably something like this where it's a flat top. I think Bareminerals has one called the Heavenly Face Brush, and that apparently works really well. I love how smooth the IT Cosmetics brush are. They don't shed on my skin. First, you're gonna take your brush, you're gonna stick it in there, and you're gonna start swirling it around the lid, just really trying to get your brush to soak up any of the powder that you put in there. And you're gonna start with buffing on one side of your face. So you're just gonna start, and you're just gonna buff that into your skin. Now, one thing I will say with this foundation is this definitely does take more time than like a standard pressed powder foundation or even honestly a liquid foundation, but you really just can't beat the finish of this foundation. But it really is just all about buffing it you can't buff it too much. So if you have all the time in the world, like just a weekend day and you're not really doing much, just see how awesome it is when you take as much time as possible to buff it in. I'm gonna bring it over to this side. And the key with this is you're gonna be building little miniature layers with this foundation. I feel like I used that layer up pretty good. So I'm just gonna take my foundation again and put the tiniest amount in there. Maybe a little more, okay. Y'all really can't see this, I don't know what I'm trying to show you. And then you're going to swirl. And I'm gonna start focusing on the other side of my face for this part. And a lot of people have asked me why you would use the original foundation versus the matte for oily skin. For some reason, in my opinion, the original just gives your skin a nicer finish than the matte overall. And beyond that is I feel like the coverage builds a frick ton faster. I don't know why. And I just think it helps to camouflage pores even better. Now, the one thing I will say about the matte foundation that I like better than the original is because the original has that like luminosity to it. When you're trying to cover up blemishes, I feel like sometimes it can bring attention to your actual blemishes when you're using your, where is it, this little concealer brush with it. So whenever I get into concealing those, I am gonna go in with some of the matte foundation to really cover up any hyperpigmentation I have, any acne I have. All right, and I'm gonna go in with another layer. Now this is totally up to you. You could do one layer. This is one full layer on each side and be completely done, feel comfortable about your skin. That's great. Some days I am like that. I'm like, I just wanna run out the door. I'm totally cool. But today I just wanted to show you how you can really build this foundation up to get full coverage. So it does take a little bit of time, but give yourself that time in the morning. You are worth it to spend a little extra time on yourself and on your skin. So this layer, I'm just gonna kind of try to buff it everywhere. Please just make sure you take the time to do the smallest amounts and just buff into circles. Okay, I am back and I have my matte foundation. Unfortunately, I have not bought the new shade that I need in this foundation. This is the medium beige, so it is too light for my skin. But by the time that I pat a little bit more of the golden beige on my skin to kind of like camouflage it all, that should take care of it looking crazy. So you're gonna do the same thing. You're just gonna take your matte foundation, sprinkle a little in the lid. And by the way, if you don't have acne and you're just trying to cover up like little spots or whatever, or dark spots, the original foundation is great for that. You don't really need the matte. I just found literally just for acne, it works better with the matte. So don't feel like you have to buy both foundations, but if y'all get the starter kit, I think it comes with mini versions of the matte and original. So you're gonna take your concealer, Max Concealer brush. This brush is a game changer. You gotta get it. This one is by Bareminerals. You're going to take it and press it into some of the powder. Tap off any, whoa, there's a lot of excess. Tap off any excess you have. I'm going to just tap over any current acne I have right now, like this. Okay. Take a little bit more. Fudge suckle. I almost dropped everything. Oh, fart. Which one is this? That's medium beige. Oh, gosh, okay. Remember that time I was like, maybe I shouldn't do a video today? Maybe this is why. God was trying to warn me that I would be more awkward than I usually am. So next I am going to conceal my under eyes, which a lot of people do the liquid concealers underneath the powder, which does work, but I actually like it over the powder as well, at least with the original foundation. And I want to get Bareminerals, I think it's Stroke of Light and Well Rested. I want to test those out for y'all. I used to wear it like a long time ago, but I don't really remember if I liked it or not. So I'm just blending out my under eye concealer with the Urban Decay Naked Concealer in the shade Medium Light. And now I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray again. This is before you powder your foundation. I always shake mine up. I don't even think you're supposed to, but I do. And I just spray it everywhere. I have to ask y'all too, while I'm sitting here feeling crazy. Does anyone else notice that this has a really bad smell to it? I swear I never noticed that before, but they had these like 50% off at Bareminerals, at Ulta. So I was like, heck yeah, girl, I'm gonna stock up. But I think it was older versions because I know they've changed the packaging completely. So I'm like, were these just like sitting in the back getting musty and then they're like, okay, well, might as well just make these 50% off? I really think that's what happened. If you have any recommendations on setting sprays besides the Urban Decay All Nighter for oily skin, let me know in the comments below. I used to use the D-Slick and I don't really like it. It actually makes my skin look kind of, I don't know, I feel like it accentuates my pores and just like makes it look cracky and dry. Making up words. Now that that has set on my skin, I am going to powder and finish out my foundation with the Original Mineral Veil. If you have super dry skin, you may not even need to powder. They actually have a hydrating mineral veil that I highly recommend for anyone with dry skin. It looks so beautiful on dry skin. I don't know what it is, but it like makes your whole face just like glow. When I already got this natural glow from my amazing oiliness going on, I don't need that. But so this is just the original translucent one. You do the same thing. You're pouring it into your cap. And then I'm gonna take my Real Techniques powder brush and I'm going to swirl that in there. And with this foundation, you can actually just buff it in if you want. I still, for some reason, like to pat. And this, I think I actually said recently to some people that like this setting powder doesn't work for me. Like it doesn't help my oils as much. And I think that's with certain foundations because these two were just meant to be with each other. These two, it's like a love story between foundations. The Original and the Mineral Veil were built to go together. So I really feel like this does help lock in my foundation much longer. And this stuff is really, really, really good at covering up pores and just like really airbrushing your skin. All right, guys, that's it for the foundation and for setting it. I hope you found this video really helpful with how you can get full coverage using the Bareminerals foundation. Just remember to build in tiny layers and then to spot treat any spots with your MAC concealer brush. Y'all, get this brush for this original foundation before you knock it and say you're never gonna use it. I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup and I will be back just to close it out. Alright guys, I'm back. I finished the rest of my makeup. I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video today. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos.